So I like how his newspaper reporter has issues. He's
What do you mean?
Well, he's very worried about what the other newspaper reporters think of him. First
Well,
of all,
he's 24 and he lives with his mom, so he's probably a mama's boy. So,
see, you're starting to see what I mean. I hadn't even gotten to the mom part yet. If you're,
he's
well, no,
young.
not in as a general rule, but I feel like his issue, he's a mama's boy. That's not, no.
I mean, there's a lot of mama's boys in these stories, so I'm like, Stephen King, are you saying something? Well, he actually, I guess he has to be because his dad left them.
True.
I don't know. I call that a mama's boy.
Well, there are a lot of them. Or
Yeah,
let me
there's
put
a
it this way,
show
actually.
about marrying those guys.
It's not necessarily that there's a lot of mom's boys, but there's a lot of overbearing mothers in stories.
So whose fault is it? It takes two.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I would call Eddie in it a mama's boy. Actually, I would, now that I think about that.
So,
Yeah,
if not him, then who?
yeah, bad example.
I mean, I think they got his picture next to the definition. He has no choice though. And he's still a kid, so that doesn't count.
That's what I mean, yeah. He just has a very overbearing mother.
Yeah.
I think he has a lot of single parent characters who have complicated relationships, like Bobby.
Bobby from
Bobby,
Hearts in it, or
yeah, Hearts
yeah,
in Atlanta. Bobby
yeah.
Garfield. That whole weird, what the fuck is going on with his mom thing that runs through that book.
This is something I'd have to like actually look into, but now that you mentioned that, I'm like, are there any? Now, granted, it's mostly horror, so probably not, but are there any just like regular happy couples in the stories that we've read? Like,
I'm sorry, this is Stephen King, right? You realize where you are.
it's like it's either single parent or you have like Bev's parents, where it's like, yeah, cool. I'm glad she has both of them.
And in the movie, that became single parent.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
They took
true.
mom right out of that shit. We got no room for her.
I'd have to sit down and actually think about that.
Pet Cemetery
True.
of all books.
Actually, that's a good point. Doesn't
Well,
end well, but
Yeah. Let's not talk about the rest of the family, but mom and dad are good for
they are
a
good
while.
parents at first, yeah. Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and Mark's parents before they were killed. I don't know if that counts, but
I
they were both
hardly
alive.
remember them at all. But you're right.
I just feel like they were dumbasses and they didn't really
Then hold
count.
on, that doesn't. They were killed. That doesn't count.
They weren't really characters. They were just like in there for a scene and then they died. So moving on.
Okay.
Well, no, I didn't mean it that way,
What
but I
about
love, I
Mike's?
like,
Mike's parents are together, right? Mike Hanlon.
Do we know?
I don't remember.
his dad
I think.
told him the story of the black spot, right?
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think they were together.
I'm pretty
And
sure they were.
happy.
His mom, yeah, I remember something,
Go
yeah.
figure. The
Yeah, there
one
was,
couple that, like, the trio that stays in Derry their entire lives.
yeah, maybe that wasn't the worst idea after all. Ah, fuck that. Fuck that. So if I leave this shithole town with the murderous clown, I'll get famous and rich, or what's the downside again? Be like, right, never come back. Gotcha. I can do that.
Conversation with you again in my life.
What?
Every time we have that conversation, I was like, it's not, if it were that easy, then Stan wouldn't have killed himself. Like, it's just not that simple.
You didn't try. That's
Richie,
that's why I fuck Stan.
I mean, we just watched part 2 again. Like, they did try to leave. I don't remember what happened. I think that was when
Hey,
Henry attacked. Henry? Right, yeah.
who, Stan? No, he didn't attack Stan.
No, remember Richie and Eddie, I think, were like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out of here. I'm not doing this anymore. Have fun. Goodbye. Nice to see you.
Oh yeah, at the hotel.
And then something happens. I think it's Henry.
Yeah, Henry like stabs Eddie when like he was hiding in the shower.
Well, Bill's
Yeah.
fucking Bev.
Yes. In the book, yeah, that
Bill's
doesn't
and
happen in the movie,
Beverly's
but
room. No, it does happen in the movie, doesn't it? Isn't Bill in Beverly's hotel room while Eddie's getting attacked?
maybe I was thinking of the old one. I think it is in the new one. I don't remember. My head's all over the place right now.
Which one did you just watch?
The new one, yeah, I forgot though.
Anyway, about this other book.
About the book we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, the Leandro vibes were
Yeah,
funny.
the reporter. You were talking about him.
I was. Him and his mom issues.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I guess there's no dad, huh? It doesn't really say. Oh, and by the way, Haven is a Netflix show or a sci-fi show. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is. And
Related?
if you like Google Stephen King shows, it'll come up. But none of these people are in it. And
Mm.
it's more like how to say, like X-Files or Fringe, where like there's a cop and there's people that know that there's supernaturally shit going on, and they're trying to so basically every episode starts with some weird shit happens, and then they're trying to figure out what
One,
happened.
that's not, is that the one with the jingle? Okay. Jeez, all these one word shows. I actually might be able to remember. Whatever. We don't have to do it right now.
Jingle bell. Yeah, and that's on Netflix too. Evil. And I haven't gotten past season 2 because the whole
La la la.
mom with the devil thing gets on my nerves. Have you seen that, Allie?
No. It looked interesting though.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like that. It's kind of X-Files like, except insert a priest instead of a cops, FBI agents.
Wait, so does Haven have anything to do with Stephen King or just isn't Haven a town? Is that an actual
They
town?
say
Actually, I
it's
don't
based
know.
on Stephen King's Haven, but I don't. I'm gonna have to watch it again and see if I recognize any of these names. Now the names are fresh again. It's like a woman wakes up in Haven and there's a sheriff and he can't feel anything. So like you can smack him around and cut his like face off and he won't feel it. And then that's the beginning of it. And those two don't ever hook up because he can't feel anything, which just led to a bunch of questions that I guess there's no answer. Anyway, I gotta see where the fuck we are. So on Leandro.
Yeah,
I don't have a whole lot to say. There's a whole lot of time like he spends on whether on I don't know how to say it. The story becoming a story and like the threads that got it out nationwide to become a big story. Like, do I really care about the scoop?
no.
You could just probably cut that out
It
and went
wasn't
from
until the scoop continued that I was like, why is it called the scoop? And I was like, yeah, because he's a reporter and there's a story, right? Whatever.
right. He's got the little hat and the pencil sticking out his ear, little press card in the side of his 1920s hat.
I mean, I feel that way. Like, even again, the guy, I don't remember his name, but the guy at the pyro, like, that whole thing was not, there was no point. It's just to show you, like, people are, guess, being drawn in, I don't know, or to show you how dangerous it is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's to show that you can't get through anymore and shit's getting wild in Haven. No, there's a
Yeah.
fire. I thought it was interesting that like they're like, we think there's a fire. We're pretty sure there's a fire. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Go put it out. I was like, well, we can't. We can't get to it.
I do like
Like, what?
that concept where it's like nobody can get in.
They never actually verified the fire's existence because they can't get there to see it.
It definitely reminded me of Under the Dome. It's like almost like there's a dome there.
Yeah, it did have those kind of vibes. Like, I think I know where, this evolved into. It's, well, never mind. I'm not going to give that away.
You know.
But you can see the seeds of the dope
Mhm.
in here. But yeah, it's like, well, there's a fire. Well, go put it out. Well, let me rephrase that. I think there's a fire.
And when he was like, "Well, the phones are done," he's like, "Which one? Like all of them?"
Yeah, he's like, what the what? Somebody go into fucking Haven and, well, the car dies, three guys threw up, one guy's in a coma, the other guy's on his way to the hospital. And then you go, okay, hold on. I think this is bigger than our sheriff's department at this point. So I think, I don't know. I don't know the point in the fucking firebug. So the fire's what started the fire? Was that Bobby's house? That chronology got a little weird there. I
Did
think
it
when that
start with
house,
the
With
shed?
fire, it's hard to keep track.
yeah, he did a little bouncing around, which was cool at first.
They were also like throwing fire at each other.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like in the middle of the street fighting, and all of a sudden there was a big giant shadow over them. You're like, oh, the ship's taking off. And then, like, the next chapter is Guard and Bobby sitting at the table. Like, I guess we're going back in time again. We're like, okay.
But you bring up a good point. What was their plan? Like to to get everybody to the ship and then take off?
Were they trying to escape? Were they trying to assimilate the whole world? Why was it just,
Why did they need the fire? Like I feel like they could have done all of this in secret and nobody would have even known. But they like alerted the entire country to what's going on there.
Well, I mean, I don't think they did that intentionally.
Well, they didn't think very well about it.
I mean, yes, fact.
Like they
well,
could
these
have
are the,
again, it just reminds me of Salem's Lot. I'm like, they got that whole town out of there in like 3 weeks. And nobody had, like, by the time anybody even noticed, it was too late. So it's like, take some pointers from the vampires, please.
Sounds Lotto always creeped me out when I was little because it was like this whole town is just empty. So they're walking around there at night and there's just nobody because they're all fucking vampires. Like, oh God, so you're like looking in windows knowing that they're out there looking at you.
Seeing something move, a shadow.
So let's drive to Florida and check the newspaper reports for a little.
It was so creepy when he's walking through the ship and he's like, I keep hearing something behind, and he turns and there's nothing there. And I'm like, ugh, I keep thinking there's going to be something there.
He's so good at that. And so many of the characters do that. They freak themselves out when there's nothing going on.
Hmm.
But I'm right with them because I feel maybe that's why, I don't know, my mind has formed the way it has because every situation I do that. Maybe it's his fault.
I think
Maybe
it
he's the
is.
reason that I have to go slow up the basement steps no matter fucking what.
Yeah.
Even though I want to run and turn around. And I don't turn around going to the basement.
You definitely don't turn around.
No.
Yeah, because what if there's something there?
I think my strategy is just to keep ignoring it.
Nothing to see here. Hey, you right? Put them to work. Hey, pass me the jelly on that shelf over.
The demon, like, excuse me, I'm right here. I'm like, la la
The
la
Simpsons
la
do
la.
that. There's a Treehouse of Horror where the ghost is telling them to get out of the house, and they're like, "No, we're not leaving." And they have to like negotiate. Like on Tuesdays, the ghost has his friends over. Uh, that was kind of the last. He says a lot of times this is the last time he saw Bobby Anderson for real. About 6 times so far.
Well, he
This is the
said
last
he
time he saw
saw,
the real Bobby Anderson.
he's saying the old Bobby. Which, by the
Yeah,
way,
it's
at
just
the end, was that his imagination or was that like her ghost?
Yeah, that was weird.
that's something I had was also thinking. I've never seen a story about alien ghosts. So
Well,
like,
right.
is that hive mind thing where they just like the spirits of the dead aliens instead of whatever we were going with? Maybe they're just the ghosts that are starting shit up again.
Well, okay, that's another thought. I was just thinking that was her
'Cause
human ghost. Like it, you know, her soul
I
didn't
think it was,
become.
I think it was just his imagination.
But that would certainly be interesting if they're, I mean,
See, lots of
technically they would be both.
they are ghosts, right?
Right, exactly. That's what I
Except
mean.
they can do more than our ghosts can. That's for sure. These
And
alien ghosts, they don't fuck around.
they can't get their ship out of the ground.
Yeah, but they can kill a bunch of fucking people trying to do it. take over the whole damn town.
Ghosts are a lot less obvious too.
Yeah, right. They're very subtle. They're not in your all in your face with their ghosting like that.
No, but I was just assuming that was her human, well, ghost, or like you said, his imagination. Because he's even like, but the hand, I felt her hand guide me. I'm like, yeah, or you're in a time of extreme stress, and who knows what the hell happened.
I mean, it's stress beyond belief, like facing something no one in the history of ever has.
I was waiting for a gunslinger moment, but that didn't come.
Right? That would have been funny. It's like you went down a hallway and then Roland appeared and disappeared.
No, I expected it to be like, and then
Like, oops,
before
wrong
he
universe.
knew it, his hand just did it, worked without thinking, and he drew with the speed of a gunslinger.
But weirdly, it felt like he was missing two fingers. Yeah, the ship was kind of cool, but yeah, the idea of the bodies piled in the corner, and it just cracks me up thinking that they're all there because they were arguing like whatever they were arguing about to the point that they crashed into the planet. Oops. And I would think that an interstellar ship would have some kind of, I don't know how to say it, anti-G or torque effect. So if you crashed into it, you would still be fine because the ship was fine. Nothing fucking happened to the ship, but they were all dead. So you would think there would be some kind of environment
That's
bubble that they would be in that like they wouldn't get hurt.
a really good point.
Well, but they didn't die because the ship crashed. They died because they killed each other.
That's another good point.
Is
I
that,
forgot about that.
I thought it was like both. The ship crashed while they were attacking each other.
No, well,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes,
I
but
guess, yeah. But I saw it as like they were then left there by themselves and just like got angry and killed each other.
After they crashed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that, I mean, honestly, your theory would make more sense because, again, I don't understand the range of these beings. It's like, you come on, you have no survival instinct.
yeah.
For interstellar travel.
Right. Like I did like the shout out where like at the end because Guard is falling apart and still going, and they're like, it's impossible, but somehow he's still alive. And I'm like, that is very human like. Somehow some humans will survive through things that should not make any sense. Do not make any sense. So I was like,
He
go
ate the
human.
Valium and got shot and still managed to get his ass down the sling that leads down the side of the ship into the hole, and that's one thing I can't picture. I'm not real sure what's going on with that thing. That fucking sling that you can only get back up if there's someone at the top of the trench to, I don't know, rotate the ropes or some shit.
Yeah, if I hate this like we are so advanced and technological except for in these ways.
Yeah, and we're using ropes to get up and down the fucking
Right.
trench. But I floated a 400-pound water vacuum thing to suck out the
Or
lake.
vending machines.
Yeah, but that aside, why would you make a contraption where your only way out was to rely on somebody else at the top? No, I need a failsafe or a kill switch or something. I'm not getting stuck.
No, I mean, I feel like that probably happened in our own history, and then they discovered, oh, we shouldn't do that anymore.
So these guys are like freaking Neanderthal. They're the
Well,
Neanderthal
also because
Tommyknockers.
one thing that I forgot to mention last time was that specifically Tommyknockers were like a myth that came, like they were very popular with miners, like people digging in the ground, mining, you know. So that would kind of make sense. Right, right, no. Miner.
I'm like, why are the kids digging in the ground?
So that would make it kind of makes sense because, you know, with all the like digging and stuff like that too.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Two filament thin wires protruded in a V shape. It's antenna. See? So the Tommyknockers have fucking radar dishes. Kind of. So if you get
Ugh.
in a fight with a Tommyknocker, you just like grab that and squeeze it. I love the fact that they're so advanced, but they don't know. It's almost like if we found a UFO and reverse engineered it. Like we don't really understand it, but we know how to make it go. And then if we all started drinking and arguing, like their person part of when they become apparently they become angry at everything, and that's apparently why they can't ever succeed at anything.
I mean, even
Because
they were whatever they were admitting, which who knows if they were telling the truth, but even of that, they're like, yeah, we don't really know a whole lot about us anyway. So I'm like, who knows where they come from? Again, they could be the rejects of every other alien species.
I mean, if you ask them, I don't think they would know because they're just. I'm assuming they've done this before. They've crashed. The residual makes new ones, and then they take off and go somewhere else. So this is like 13th generation of different actual,
Are they all
bodies. Or
in
are the Tommyknockers an actual? So
the
when
mind?
they're done becoming, do they look like those aliens that were on the ship?
Well, that was definitely the implication because of all the like they're growing snouts, they're losing teeth.
Yeah. So there's actually a race of Tommyknockers that somewhere down.
Well, no, yeah, I mean that's why at the end they were saying like talking about the ones that were dying, they kept calling them Tommyknockers because they were a changed species.
No, that's not. Well, yeah, okay.
I know that's Guard's word, but still, like
Yeah, I
they
just kind of took that as a euphemism most of the time.
a euphemism. I don't even think that's a euphemism.
You fucking Tommyknocker. You're a Tommyknocker.
But my question is, like, I mean, I guess that is the point of a hive mind. So it's like they're still alive. Well, I guess the ones that survived. Actually, now that I think about it, most of them didn't survive. So who's is
None
it?
of them survived in the end.
It's just Guard on the ship, right? But they're still there? I don't understand.
Well, in the epilogue, they like took them to a thing and breathed special air, and like one by one, they eventually all died.
Yeah, they took him to the shop.
Oh, right. They took them to the shop that had been burned down by its previous resident. So shout out.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bunch of shout outs there at the end. I kept noticing.
Also, this is very random, but speaking of shout outs, he actually gave, well, I think it was kudos to, or at least he mentioned Jack Nicholson in The Shining, which I'm like, I've never heard you talk about Stanley Kubrick's Shining before.
Very interesting, right? And not like it's the worst thing that ever happened. He was talking
Right.
about how iconic it was. Like he was like, okay, I give it his props.
Yeah. But only to Jack Nicholson, not to you.
Jack Nicholson makes that movie though. Wendy
Yeah.
is so bad in that movie. She's awful. She's
Rest in
horrible.
peace.
Oh yeah, she just died, didn't she?
Mm-hmm. Recently.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to hear that, but she's still bad in that movie. All she does is like hold a fucking bat and cry,
Well,
or hold Tad
I'm pretty sure
and
that was
Tad.
his fault, Kubrick's fault, though. Like, that was his doing.
Well, it was. He talks
Yeah.
about that. There's no character arc for Jack or Wendy. He's just in like he's like a drunk on the men who ends up going crazy. There's none of that. He's just batshit from like night one, and she is a lot more than just some screaming little wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the movie that they're not. That's what they are. But he's such.
We all know that he got very personally offended because Jack is him, and if he has no redemption, then King has no redemption.
Well, yeah,
That's how I
yeah,
always
oh
saw
yeah.
it.
No, that was definitely an autobiography without
And
a
he was
doubt.
like, he has to be the good guy in the end. So when Kubrick didn't make that happen, I think that's probably why he got so offended.
I love the idea of getting drunk off Ghost Liquor.
Trust me, I do want to reread that book, but I still think about that. Or I'm like, I mean, you could, I guess, trick your
Like, would
brain
it work?
into it, right?
Yeah. Oh, or they, yeah, there's a lot of avenues there. I mean, or is the ghost like a poltergeist able to manipulate something into existence? When he's pouring the ghost bottle, does it become real when it hits the glass through the
Or is the
ectoplasm
ghost
or some shit?
possessing you and making you think you're drunk?
Maybe the ghost is invading your mind and you're pouring the shot and you didn't realize.
It's real liquor the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of avenues there. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we'll do that at some point. That's actually a short one. I think it's like 400 pages, maybe, but there's a lot there. Anyway, We keep. I guess we don't want to talk about this damn book because we keep going off topic.
I mean, I feel like we covered a lot of it. That's probably all we do.
Yeah, I mean they're in the ship. I mean, yeah, we kind of went all over the place. I'm just seeing. I mean, what do we have? What do we do? Like 7:30 ish. Hell, there's one episode of this one. I think we did one. What's today? Monday. I split the last one into 2 episodes, so that came out Friday.
Did you include any of the first one? The first one back?
I did. Uh,
I didn't think that was
whatever. You
gonna
know, when we get our Patreon page going, I'll put that as special content.
happen.
So yeah, I don't know that I have a whole lot. We kind of jumped around and covered it all, right? I feel like I'm missing something with it. Every time I keep trying to hit a chapter thing, it scrolls to the next page.
I do think it. I do have one thought that randomly came up was like at the end when Guard is like, well, so I came back to save Bobby. I failed at that. But maybe I can save David. I'm like, oh cool. Yeah, this kid that you don't even know that you just heard about. Like, cool. Like, yeah, go ahead and save him, sure. But it's just funny to me where he's like, I still have to be a
Suddenly
hero.
he gives a shit about that. Like he was about to kill
Right,
himself,
right.
which is ironic. But instead he had to come save Bobby, who now is about to kill him or tried to kill him instead. How'd that work out? Maybe you should stop trying to save people.
I don't know. I kind of liked that little redemption arc.
Oh no, I think I love the way it ended. Just like him like laying on the floor of the ship as it speeds off into who knows where.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think
fuck you, Tommyknockers.
that was perfect. I
Yeah,
think
for sure.
the I don't have a problem with it. I do feel like it was a little, I don't know, in a weird way, like too happy ending, or they were like, wait, he's going after the kid? All right, cool, let him do it. We don't care. Like, awesome. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing here. And they're like, so what is the point of all this? I guess to help save David? Like, why did that happen? I guess so we know about Alter 4.
You know, he makes it up as he goes. So he was just like, what if I just sent him here? And then he was probably like, well, fuck, I can't just leave him there. He probably had kids about David's age at the time.
You gotta
That's
save the kid.
true.
Tabby was probably like, oh, no, we're not doing that. I let you get away with Pet Cemetery. We're not doing this.
So, because David and Hilly were out of the town immediately, they do not need the air, right? They had not started any of that.
I thought he kind of had, but he's been out of Haven for long enough that he's okay.
I couldn't understand how, like, who was decided to be okay? Just the people who were there every day?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But, like, at what point? Like, what if somebody moved into town, like, 2 weeks after everybody else started? And they're like, nope, sorry, you had to be here 2 weeks ago. Now you're dead.
That would be like Guard, right? He thought he was immune, but it turns out it was just taking him longer. But to me, then I said that earlier, like, so he's immune, but if he's been living there, then if he's immune, the air will kill him because it's killing everyone else that tries to get near it that's not used to breathing.
Well, he's immune to the telepathy, I guess not immune to the becoming, which I would think are the same. I don't know.
He's not, well, yeah, it slowed it down. Yeah, I don't, some of it's a little convenient and maybe contrived. But
There's a lot of suspension of disbelief. Well, in the story about aliens, I know.
Yeah.
go figure. I like how I forget what the part was. Well, like this guy called that government guy, and that government guy called that guy, and then the shop showed up, and he's like, and that's how the Dallas police got involved.
Yeah. I will say, as much as I like to give him crap about the JFK assassination mentions, I do really come to like that idea of just calling, like,
He
I
knew
guess,
exactly what he meant.
conspiracy theorists, like governmental groups, just calling the Dallas police from now on.
Yeah, I think I totally do that because yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Hmm.
Poor Dallas police. I don't feel like they actually did anything. Are they complicit in the assassination?
Oh no, that would be the CIA. Well,
Right. In the
I
mafia.
mean, there might be people who were helping them, but honestly, I feel like the CIA probably just handled it on their own.
You know the thing about JFK's brain? How like that disappeared?
Well, yeah, yeah. Don't get me started.
Yeah, anyway.
I'm gonna
I
sound like
guess we're
Stephen
over.
King now.
Don't even get me started. I guess that's all I got. Uh
Like I said,
it's a
I
fun book once it gets going. I just wish it got going a little sooner.
yes. So this is a book that has 2 months. 2 months.
It's almost like he was on a drunken ramble and just kept right.
But that being said, I definitely like it way more than I remember liking it the first time. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I like the classic Stephen King. It's the small town.
Very creepy.
It's different in that usually his small town is like this side against that side. This is mostly they're all on the same side against everybody else in the world.
Yeah, like the pressure of like, oh my God, do they know what I know? Oh, now they're chasing me. Oh my God, they're almost here. I gotta hurry up. Like I can't fumble anything right now. They're all after me. Like that was.
Yeah, and that happened a bunch of times. Like that
Hmm.
was, that happened with Ev, that happened with Guard, that happened with the cop. And the cop was with Ev. Oh yeah, they sent him home to shoot himself.
And
And there was the other two cops.
that's better than the shed.
Yes. The shed. What like do you run out of juice? Do you just die?
Yeah, I mean,
Like how
I
long does it take?
imagine eventually, but right, because you should be dead at that point already. Like whatever they're draining from you is not a human thing.
Yeah, because like every now and then they're like, it hurts. I'm like, okay, so like I guess when they're feeding or when they're charging, it hurts more. Oh God, what are they doing?
Ugh.
That feels like an inside hurt, something that you can't like do anything about. It'll be awful. Shed's the worst part of that book, I think. And then when I found out what the fuck she did to Peter, I was like, oh my God, you're awful.
Yeah.
Like that like shows you like quickly, and maybe it wasn't her fault. We never knew the real Bobby,
Right.
but quickly,
I mean, she could have just like, couldn't you get a deer or something?
I think there's a mouse back there, and Fred hears noises.
I-
He's looking
a
back
real
like
mouse
behind the
this
TV.
time, or a toy?
No, like the ones that you saw.
Right, right.
But we had Exterminator come like 2 weeks later, and I haven't seen one since. But it's been cold, and Fred's been hearing noises. He's all under my desk trying to find it. I hope he finds it. He chases squirrels on the power lines above our house. So he looks up and runs up back and forth in the yard trying to figure out how to get to him. Anyway, the hell was I saying? I don't know.
I think that's it. What are we reading next?
Okay. Yeah, I think I was just commenting on the book.
I mean, if you have more to say, go ahead.
Just that it's a fun read. A lot of people hate that book. I know I can see why, but
It's
I love
not.
it.
I don't hate it, but it's not. I mean, maybe it's just because I don't love alien stories enough, but like, it's not interesting enough for as long as it is for the average reader. Like, I don't see most people getting into this story.
Yeah, there's too much to get. Like once you get there, it's great. Getting there takes too long.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I get the hate, but I still like it. Anybody who's, I guess, an alcoholic can relate to the ride with Guard. Maybe not on that level. But God,
Also, in terms, like, it's one of the few that has a very solid ending. Like, good job. I like that.
Yeah, that's true.
all right. So what? I think Fred scared it back into his hole. He's sniffing around everywhere. What are we reading next? Al, you got thoughts?
Well, one of my coworkers who listens to the podcast has requested from a Buick 8.
No.
Wow, that's an interesting one.
Oh. Is that
Do they like it? The podcast? Shout out to coworker.
Yeah. Yay, Joseph.
yeah,
Thanks for
that's awesome.
That's have you read it,
I have not. No.
Amber?
Sorry. No, I have not.
Killer car, but way different than Christine. More of a Altair 4 kind of vibe with the car.
The
I have.
cars
I
from
actually.
Alta book?
I haven't read Christine either.
It's not my favorite, honestly. It's okay. That book in general was never my favorite. Or the movie. Actually, I liked it. It's a better movie than a book because there's not a whole lot to explore.
From a Buick 8 is not. Is that under Stephen King?
Yeah,
For some reason I was thinking that was
Bachman.
yeah.
No. I think that got published in like the early thousands, but it had been like in his car for like 10 years or something. Like, it's just what he did when he was fucking around and bored. He didn't think it was worth like publishing.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Happens to all of us.
Right? I feel your pain. I know how it is. The struggle's real. Okay. Amber, what do you got?
I don't really care, but I remember when we were talking about it, you were talking about the regulators, was that it? Or needful
Desperation
things.
and Regulator.
Okay.
I was talking about, yes, all of them. I was talking about Desperation and Needful Thing, but if you read Desperation, then you got to go Regulators right after that.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Right.
That's what I said.
So I'd be fine with any of those too. From a Buick 8, I don't really care, honestly. I haven't read any of the things that we've mentioned, so that will be nice.
I've
Have
read
you?
Desperation fairly recently, so I would love to give that a bit more time.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's just say we'll do Needful Things End from a Buick 8. Which one do you want to do first?
Let me see which one I own.
You just go with from a Buick 8. How about that? Oh, yeah. Well, which one you own is important too. Like,
I mean, I'll just get the other one or audiobook it, but yeah, I might have both actually.
Needful Thing is one of my favorites. Love, I love the vibe of that.
Is that my God, RF? What's his name?
Random Flight.
Yeah, thank you.
Richard Fannin.
All of the
Uh,
above.
Richard Starkey. There's a couple. Yeah. Wait, what about?
I forgot. Is that him?
In
He's not the villain in Needful Things, is he? Okay.
No, he's a one-off.
Okay.
Needful Things is the book where he destroys Castle Rock. That's
Mm.
it. No more Castle Rock after that, unless he sets the book before that.
All right.
So it's a pretty action-packed ending. Let's just do from a Buick 8 first. That'd be, I guess,
Okay.
what I would say, since we have a request.
That's
That never
also
happened.
okie dokie.
So I gotta find it. I don't know if I have that Kindle or not. I don't know if I have that on Kindle. Good thing I got 6 credits. I don't know what the fuck to do with. I forgot to cancel. If you have credits that you haven't used, when you cancel a membership, you lose the credits. So you have to spend them on something before you cancel the membership. And I kept forgetting to cancel, so now I got like 6 credits, and now there's nothing that I like.
I keep using the website Easy Audiobooks for Soul, and it's free. Nice.
Do I need to cut that?
I don't know. I don't think it's illegal.
Well, okay, that's a good point. It's not like piratebay.com.
Yeah.
Let me look on Kindle, see what I have.
Also, Stephen King, like, I'm pretty sure it's the website, like Stephen King audiobook something. They have a lot of them on there for free as well. I just don't like that one because you can't speed it up, and I can't do regular speed.
Mm.
Thought audiobook was taking forever the other day, and I checked the speed, and it was on 1. I was like, what the fuck? How did it get on 1? I can't do 1. I can't do like 1.5 because then they start to get Mickey Mouse like. Right around 1.3 and a half.
I do 1.7, and that's my sweet spot.
Oh yeah, that's like. I'm looking on Kindle. I don't know what to tell you to read unless I have the.
Yeah, I don't have that one, so I don't have a reference point. I don't know. This one's not a long one though, I think, right?
I don't think it's that long.
I remember I've seen the book. I think I used to have it. I must have given it away.
Yeah. I don't
496 pages.
I mean, like half of the one we just read. Well, I guess depends on how many pages.
That's what he calls a long weekend. I can't. How do I see the chapter? Guess I'm gonna have to buy this stupid thing. Wait, there's Let me look on Audible. It's probably gonna be if I don't have it. I know what to spend a credit on. Oh, I guess I'm spending a credit.
Is it spending? I guess, yeah. I was like, if you already paid for it.
It still counts. I'm pretty sure. Girl math.
Girl math, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Uh, okay. Well, I just bought it, so now let's look at it. Oh, I bought the audiobook. Is that gonna tell me chapters? Well, the audiobook's only 13 hours. That's like I'm used to like the stand at 47 hours.
Jeez.
Until one of us has a physical copy of the book.
I'm gonna just go buy the damn Kindle book. I have it, but that came out of left field. It's upstairs in the attic. I would have never thought to bring that one down just in case. It's an interesting. It's like a guy. It's a bunch of cops at like a police station out in the middle of fucking nowhere, Maine, telling the story about this car that's haunted and all the like shit that's happened to him. I don't remember if it's a cop car, or if it's just some random car that's like at the station for whatever reason
What is that?
from a Buick.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, that'll be
I
fun.
like and it's like kind of like Tommyknockers because there's a bunch of weirdness that the car does and that happens to people around the car. So I like that part.
Cars doing it to people?
I mean, it's up for debate. I think there's actually no doubt, but nobody believes that's what it is, that kind of thing. But I don't know. Do I have to buy the damn Kindle so I can look at the chapters? This thing's still down. Can you Google it?
How many chapters are there?
Well, like the hold on. There's a chat. Hold on, I can do it.
The answer is yeah, but I don't know what to do.
I'm doing it. Just like chapters. Guess I'm cutting out the last 10 minutes of the podcast.
Google says it's 400 pages.
132.
You're talking about? Oh,
Yeah, this one I'm looking at says like 467.
sorry, what'd you
Okay,
say?
so let's go with fucking. It's 500. It's 450 pages. Do you want to just cut it in half, or is that too much?
Half is about what we've been doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think
Okay.
that's probably average.
All right, cut it in half, and I'll figure it out. Later, whatever happens. I'm not reading it yet.
I mean, yeah, obviously not me either.
Yeah, I'll let you know like tomorrow or next day.
Yeah,
Whatever happens.
I looked up the audiobook. There's only 5 sections. I'm used to there being like pages and pages and pages.
I know. Well, it has like a chapter list here. Put it right around. I don't know. There's a bunch of then and now chapters. So it says now Sandy, then Ben, now Archie, then Sandy, now Sandy. So there's like 8 different now Sandys. So I don't even know how to tell you. I can't go. We'll go to the now Sandy and stop there because there's like 7. I'll figure it out and I'll let you know. Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Amber, you're coming next week, right? Oh my God, next week. What
I
the fuck?
know.
How'd that happen?
Wait, next, like, not this Thursday or next Thursday?
Next week.
Next
Not this week.
Thursday is
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Right. Right. Just to get to the weekend and then you're coming. That's the
Right,
end of that.
right.
All right. End of the podcast. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.